This is
Miss Bowden.
and this is a new Paloma Press production, A Glance into Romance. So today we're going to talk about PDA.
I don't super love PDA, but
Yeah.
definitely happens on campus a lot.
As a staff member, how do you feel about it?
It's a controversial subject for sure. I like to think the school as like a professional setting. And I know that's hard as a student because you're just like forced to be here every day. But I think it's just important to remember where you're at. And if it's not something you would want to do in front of your family, then maybe don't do it at school.
Yeah. Okay, and how do you think this affects like our school cultural and like overall environment?
I think it can be pretty distracting. I mean, you're at this age where you're discovering a lot about yourself, you're going through the trials, you're figuring things out. So I don't think relationships are bad by any means, but I do think it can really distract you from the other important things. Even just friendships and like, letting it take over your life can be a little bit toxic.
Yeah. So what do you think we can do about it, like to positively affect our school?
I mean, I think we just encourage an open conversation. Awesome that you guys are doing that here. But I think if we just, I don't think we can put a rule on it. It's a
Yeah.
difficult thing to just say, like, absolutely no hand holding or anything like that, because relationships are important. But I do think definitely not in the classroom. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to break couples up. I mean, it happens. Even in my leadership classes, there's a lot of couples in there, and I have to be
Yeah.
like, hands to ourselves, everyone. It's very uncomfortable. And you got to think in like the real world work environment, you would never be able to do that. That would be
Yeah.
terrible. You get fired like the next day.
Is PDA compared to whenever you were in high school? Would you say there's a shift in it?
Think back then it was a little bit different. People were more openly touchy and
Oh.
hiding behind places they shouldn't. And at dances recently, since I went to our homecoming, I realized a huge difference. Like, we used to treat it like a club in there, and that wasn't appropriate at all. So it's refreshing to see everyone kind of dancing a little bit different, just being your age and not trying to
Yeah.
act older per se. Um, but again, like, I think it's important that you guys go through these relationships and find yourself and do all those things. I just think it's really important to remember there's a lot of other things in high school. Like,
Yeah.
again, big emphasis on friendships and like finding yourself, joining clubs, and having all the fun you should have. I think a lot of people take their relationships very serious here,
Yeah.
you know?
And I know it's a pretty controversial topic for students, so how do you think they would feel about this?
They're gonna hate it. They're gonna think that we're policing too much, started with the cell phones, and then it's like, so I think it's a toughie, but I do think majority of students, so if the topic's brought up, they're like, yeah, it's not really comfortable walking by students, hiding behind pillars, or
Yeah.
like, trying to walk around a couple who won't let go of their hands kind of thing. It's like, you'll survive, I promise, if you
Yeah.
don't walk each other to class every day.
Hey guys, I want to go to fourth period.
Oh, yeah,
Putting it
get
out
out of
there.
her way.
Would you say you see a lot of it in more recent years on campus?
Not too bad. I think, I do think after COVID, people were pretty slow in relationships, even just building on campus. Like, even the school culture was a little bit slow to get back into the normalcy of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I would say it's on the rise again. It's going back to being a little bit normal. But yeah, I could tell there was a little bit of when I first started here after COVID, it was not as touchy.
Yeah.
Now it's back to it.
Hey, Miss Bowden, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
See you next episode.